If you are on a self-discovery journey, this podcast is for you. We will explore personal growth through storytelling, candid conversations, and practical strategies to help us navigate through life's challenges and rewards. This is your Access Has Been Granted podcast, the off season.
So we're going to start talking about the good stuff now. I would like for you to kind of give us some insight on how you developed the idea of art of aesthetics from an aspect of taking your passion, which I identify from my perspective as self-care, and making an impact with skincare.
Yeah.
How can you give us a little bit of insight on what that transition was for you and what made art of aesthetics your passion project?
Sure. So I guess we have to go back to when I was working for Pottery Barn.
Good. I wanted you to go back there.
Take it back.
I might even wanted you to go back to Aveda because that's where you were introduced to
This is true.
this life.
But it's where I was introduced, but I didn't realize that it was a passion for me until I didn't have it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
That was my goal. This is in my 20s. I want to make more money. I deserve to make more money. Other people out here making more money, I should be making more money.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come back.
And you strategized that too.
Oh, absolutely.
You remember the letter you wrote? And then, no, forget the letter. You remember how you told them you made more money than you actually did?
It's me trying to tell her story for her.
All the time. All the time. I'm like,
The process to get the job was extra as hell.
I'm so extra. Oh, gosh. You've been around for a long time.
Baby, we cackled this episode so much.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
So cringe listening to this now.
So I thought making more money would make me happy. I'm working in retail. I've been working for this company for a while, and it's the first job that I had really loved. But I'm like, I want to make more money. There's other people. I'm working in this high-end mall where these store managers are making $85,000, $95,000. I'm not making that.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I want to get to that. So let me find another company that I can go make that with, or I can make more money. So it means that I have to take on more responsibility. I have to get a higher volume store. I might even have to take a job as assistant manager in order to get the general manager job that I want for a multi-million-dollar store. So I go and I get the job. I get what I'm asking for pay-wise, and I hate it. Like, eventually I hate it. One, because maybe sometimes the clientele I'm working with. Two, maybe the person I'm working for. Three, this isn't what I'm really passionate about. I'm selling stuff, but now it really does feel like selling. Like, now I'm really looking at these metrics and like, oh, I need to open this many credit cards. First and foremost, I hate opening credit cards. Second, I need to sell something that I'm not familiar with, and it's not from a place of passion. Like, and then I'm learning stuff all over again. Like, I remember certain things like home decor things that I didn't even know what the name of it was, which is awkward because people look at you like you have two heads when you mispronounce. I can't think of what it is right now, but
I can't think of nothing, but I remember I didn't know what the cancer was, and you had to tell me what that was.
there we go, like a decanter.
I'm like, that's what it's called. Can you tell the people what a decanter is? Because I literally did not know what it was until you told me.
So a decanter is something that you put your liqueur inside of. So you can have one for like whiskey, you can have like crystal decanters, and it's like a whole thing. Like people come in and they're looking for decanters. There's something else that I even pronounced it wrong on the walkie-talkie to everybody in the store. Mind you, this is the ego part right now, but I'm the youngest,
In the store.
only Black, and I'm the manager on duty at the time. And then I asked for, fucking votive candle. Votive. I said,
Oh, the ones that's fake.
no, it's
I'm
a
just
small
using context clues because I don't know what's
I
up.
don't know what the hell. I
votive
still don't know.
candle. I didn't know what it was. And I called it a votive or votive or something like that. Something stupid.
And they sound like he was being ghetto.
Yeah, I'm like Tarjay in this bitch. Like votive. I needed 4 white votives to cap some whatever area I was in. And they're like, huh? Votive candles are small candles. They're little tiny. They're bigger than tea light, but they're like this big. So those are votive candles. I didn't know what a votive candle was. I didn't know how to pronounce it. On the walkie-talkie as this new manager, this Black young manager or whatever, with everyone who is white and over 45 as my subordinates.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, do you mean a votive?
And you like, bitch.
Exactly. So I'm in this situation. This isn't really what I thought it was to be. Like, yes, I manifested this job. I got what I thought I wanted.
Power of the words. Even if it ain't good for you, you can talk it into existence.
And here we are. So you got more money. Here you are. And it caused me to realize that I missed the job, the company, the type of products I was selling previously with Aveda. And that's literally where everything starts. I got introduced to spirituality. I got introduced to chakras and Ayurveda, which is an ancient Indian healing art that goes back way before Western medicine. And it was all about me getting back to that. Like, I had left this job, made more money. Now what do I do with that? So I decided I wanted to go to aesthetic school. I've always loved skincare. I've always had problematic skin. So working for Aveda, I learned about products and ingredients and rituals as far as like skincare, how you're going to take care of your skin, hair care, how you're going to do that. Started going to spas on a regular basis because it was really, really cheap. And I got an opportunity to get exposed to these things. And through working with Aveda as a manager, you go to these great like sales conferences, and they call it Beyond Belief. And you go to these different parts of the country, all expenses paid for a weekend, and they pour into you. Like, not only are they talking about sales and recognition and performance and all those KPIs that make a business profitable, but they're really pouring into you. So in the morning, you're doing yoga. They're giving you an option to do hiking or whatever. You get up at 6 and you can do these things in beautiful locations. And then you go in and you're doing some training, and they're going to bring in someone who's going to do like a personality trait test where they're going to be like, oh, okay, so you're competitive and you're so on and so forth. I know competition was one of my things. So this is how we're going to teach you in order to make
Which is extremely smart, because in personal development, when I coach people, I learn that's one of the first things in phase 1. Absolutely. Learning what your personality type is and core values.
Absolutely. And
I paused it there because I wanted to get your insight about how you feel about your origin story. Now that you hear it again for the first time in like 4 years, now that you're 5 years removed from that space.
Yeah.
How do you feel listening to your origin story? What kind of feelings came back for you? What thoughts popped in your head? Because you went through a little roller coaster of emotions when you were listening to that.
Stop looking at me.
That's my job.
But oh God, I just love my origin story. Like, as I sit back, hindsight being 2020, it had to be that way. And as the message that comes back to me now, it's like, it's not always about making more money, but it's about where your impact is and really identifying where I really felt called to be. And I think we all have these, innate feelings and intuition of where we feel that we're supposed to be planted. And it gave me a taste of where I was supposed to be, which then navigated my journey into aesthetics and everything like that. And so, Aveda was like 10 years ago, maybe more. I can't even tell you because I've been an entrepreneur for 5 years. And then before that, it was like 2 years learning aesthetics, maybe 3 years learning aesthetics. So it's really beautiful because it's all the things that I want to create. Like I said, I'm passionate about creating community. My goal is to create retreats for women of color. And it would involve the things that I learned at Beyond Belief. It would be the yoga. I'm a yoga instructor. I do breath work with my clients. I feel most connected to nature, most connected to God when I'm in nature and get most clarity. And I want more people to experience that. I think it's important to understand your strengths and to understand what is natural for you. So that way you can utilize those strengths to help you in the areas of opportunity, but also to help you grow whatever it is that you're trying to grow. And those are all things that I learned from Aveda. Like, that was like destined to be, that the culture, the community, the brand, the people that I met there, so impactful. And I needed to, go to another opportunity and realize that it wasn't just like,
it just wasn't the money.
It wasn't the money. The money wasn't going to satisfy like my heart, my purpose. Like, I couldn't stay anywhere else. And now being a entrepreneur for 5 years, like, I'm back to like being that purpose. Like, even when maybe numbers or sales aren't where I want them to be each month, or if I come up against some type of struggle or I feel, a little bit burnt out, I'm doing something that I love. I'm doing something that I know brings me joy, but I also bring so much like joy and healing to other people. And it feels very much aligned. Where in that situation before, where I was just trying to make sure I was making a certain amount of money to buy material things to impress people who I don't even care about.
Exactly.
It still rings true. And like, I'm smiling about it. And I was having flashbacks of that moment of like, saying, votive wrong and seeing people like turn around and look at me crazy and feeling so embarrassed and out of place and not authentic. And in this season of life, I'm really leaning and leading in with authenticity at the forefront. Opposed to materials, opposed to status, opposed to titles. But what feels really good to me, and what I found is that what feels good to me is typically what God has in store for me, is where he wants me to be. There's ease there. I'm not running up against, running into a wall. I'm not having to fake it till I make it. I'm not having to put that I make more money. It is what it is. But also, I think, I've learned a lot about self-worth over the journey. And I feel like even with the Veda, like when you tap into your own consciousness, there's so much clarity. It's another veil that's lifted that I'm really grateful for my experience with that brand.
Yes, the origin stories are beautiful to listen to, because since we are, as much as 4 years doesn't seem so long, so much has happened.
Facts.
Since we recorded this episode, and to know that when we were on that journey of figuring out what our purpose and our passion was, it was always right there. And that's something that a big process of what I do with clients is like, what do you already have? What skill sets do you already have? What have you done that made you the happiest? Because 9 times out of 10, your passion and your purpose has always been with you. You just didn't recognize it for what it was. And you made a point to say that when I tried to push you back and say, no, start with a Veda. You was like, yeah, but I didn't know it then.
Yeah.
And that's very important to highlight, because the 9 times out of 10, you've experienced that connection to your passion or your purpose, but you just don't know it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need somebody on the outside to say, hey, but when you were doing this, how did you feel? Or you need to go and enter into a space that you think is better for you.
Yeah.
But then you realize it's not better at all. Yeah, I have this one pro, but everything else is a con. I don't feel good when I leave here. I feel drained.
Yeah.
I want to be in a space where I feel like I'm recharged, where I'm actually getting back what I put in. And that's a lot of hard work. I feel like I say that a lot.
Yeah.
But it is. It's nothing easy about that journey. But when you are working in a space where you are doing purpose work,
Yeah.
like you said, when you have those hard times, you are thriving because you know that at the end of the day, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You get a lot of satisfaction, a lot of clarity, a lot of confidence in knowing that I can get it back. When you fail and you lose it, you like, I can get it back.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And at the end of the day, I'm trusting the process.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting where I'm supposed to be going. The destination is still there, but the direction changed.
Yep.
We're gonna
Reroute.
pivot and reevaluate this thing, and we're gonna keep going because we still got places to go.
Absolutely.
And I feel like when you're doing purpose work, that's what energizes you. It energizes you and it keeps you going like a little bunny. Not like a puppy, but like a little bunny.
Did you just drum like the Energizer Bunny? Wow.
And he do the bass drum. He don't even do the snare drum. You know I know the difference between the
I do
drums.
know.
Don't play with me. All right, Ty, let's go.
My old job. And so I did some sitting with what part of that job that I loved the most. And prior to going to Pottery Barn, I had thought about going to aesthetic school. I wanted to go to an Aveda school. It was like massage therapy and it was aesthetics. And I was very clear that I didn't want to do massage because I keep having this vision of like, it's the hairy fat guy that I have to massage, and that's just not for me.
And he gonna be moaning and groaning, and you gonna feel inappropriate.
Right? No, I don't need no. Care. I'm able to learn how to take care of my skin and teach other people. And through the process of going to aesthetic school, I had the worst breakout in my skin's history, which I really should have taken pictures of. And to be completely honest, my subconscious was like, document, take photos. But my ego was like, no, don't take pictures of it because you look ugly. So anyways, I went to aesthetic school. I learned how to correct my skin. And I was like, all right, this is what I want to do. This is exactly what I want to do. I learned how to do it for myself.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I could do this for other people. Originally, I didn't think I could do it.
Right. You doubted yourself for sure.
I doubted myself for a long time. And I was like, I don't know where exactly I'm going to be. I don't even think that Art of Aesthetics as a studio as it is today was the thought.
A part of your vision.
It wasn't a part of the
that
vision.
big yet.
It wasn't. It was like, oh, I'll be a medical esthetician. I'll work at doctor's offices. I'll work at med spas. I interned and did that. I've worked in those professions. And as I continue to work there, I realized I really have a need to do it my way. It's important for women, Black women, who struggle with skincare. So 80% of Black women deal with hyperpigmentation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Black woman. Black women are looking for me. And if I'm at this place or that place and that place, I realize, yes, they're capitalizing off the fact that Black women are looking for me.
And they're using you.
And
for
exactly.
For that
demographic. Because if they come in, if you're coming into a white establishment and you see this Black woman there, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, she knows.
Exactly.
But then I'm having to do it their way.
Exactly. I wish you could hear the episode. See, as we're recording right now, no one has heard the first episode. So by the time they hear your episode, they're going to be able to see.
Oh my God. I'm sick of myself.
Are you a little cringy over there?
I am so cringy because, first of all, my training has elevated my active listening. So the ability that I have to sit still and listen has went from a 3 to a 10, right?
Yes.
So listening to myself fight for airtime, I want to pull my skin off. I'm like, shut up, let the girl talk. And I think at some point in the episode, I acknowledged that. I think I said at some point in the episode, the people gonna be like, girl, just let that girl talk. But at that time, I wasn't fully aware. And again, y'all gotta remember, the kid's my best friend. So we're talking, and at some point, the mics aren't there. Like, we're just having a conversation. We know that we're having a conversation to deliver to you guys, but we are in conversation. So we were having a natural conversation on the couch, and that's probably the place where I'm least conscious about cutting someone off.
Yeah.
So now I'm listening to it and I'm like, shut up, stop talking. Let her finish her thought. Why are you finishing her sentences?
Not she finishes my sentences.
Because I do in real life.
Yes.
But in retrospect, the training that I have now would never do that.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much. Yeah. First of all, I want to hear your full thought before I respond. That's the first thing.
And step one.
It's step one. And second of all, if I cut you off, that stops your thought process. And then you have trouble going back to where you were.
Rude.
I need you to get there. Look, I need you to get to the point. Yeah. And I can't be getting in the middle of that. So that's why it's cringy for me. But I wanted to review a part of what you said. We talked about the doctor's office and how you in that space. Now we're like in step 2 of your purpose finding. You're starting to realize that you have a special skill set here. Not just because of the skills you learned from school, but because of who you are.
Yeah.
And it's starting to click that you're getting closer and closer to art of aesthetics while you're going through your journey. I think that was important to highlight then because I can hear it in the story. Now that we're so far removed from the moment, I can hear it even clearer. Because now you have been full-fledged doing corrective skincare for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I remember even then you said that was the first time you had said that your demographic was women of color.
Yeah.
You remember that? And you were kind of nervous.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm like, well, I know it's important to niche down, right? But you don't want to necessarily isolate different demographics. Like, I want all people to want to seek me and come to get their services from me. I want to have an impact on all lives. But as I say that, I'm like, oh, which brings me, the whole all lives matter situation. But however, feel like the assignment was for women of color. I think that, I don't know the stats on this, but I'm sure the exact stats, but I do know that post-pandemic, the mortality rate of Black women dropped. That Black women happen to have more illnesses, are leading more stressful lives. They don't prioritize self-care. And I can at least say that for my community, but there's stats that support this, that there's a dire need for women of color to take care of themselves, to prioritize self-care. I remember I was talking to my sister-in-law. Hey, Dr. Dre. She is a prosthodontist in Atlanta, Georgia. Decatur, Georgia. And she owns her practice. So if you guys are in Atlanta and you need your teeth checked out. But I told her one day, I was like, I need you to take 7 minutes to do your skincare. Like, close the door, like, the baby will be all right. Your husband will be all right. And she was like, oh my God, can we shorten that down to 3 minutes? And I was like, so what you're telling me is that you don't have 7 minutes for yourself? And she's like, when you say that, it sounds crazy. I was like, I just wanted to say it back to you so you could hear what I said. But as a career-focused woman with a family, she didn't have 7 minutes to prioritize herself. She didn't see that in her household growing up probably. It was, we're very much told you need to be 2 times as good in order to get a fair shot at opportunities to be able to move forward in your career, so on and so forth. So if we're working 2 times harder than everyone else, what are we doing to counterbalance that so we don't burn out? So we're not extremely stressed out. So we're not holding on to trauma. So we're not passing that on to the people that we interact with. How are we refueling our cups and showing up for ourselves if we always have to be 2 times as good as everybody else? So just based off of that, that's where my focus needs to be. Those are the majority of the people that come into my doors are women of color. There are men, there are people who are not Black or brown who seek me for services, and I love them all. However, I really want to make an impact for Black women, women of color. I want them to be confident and comfortable in their skin, and that's who I am. I came from a Black mama who came from a Black mama who came from a Black mama. And their struggles I understand. I listen to them all the time. I hear how hard they're working. Like my friend Sine, she works so hard. She's an extremely talented leader. I have several friends. I won't name all of them, but a lot of my friends are really focused, really career-driven women. And I get to be a part of their self-care. My clients, same thing. I get to be a part of their self-care. I get to be a safe place for them to land. I help them to recharge. I physically can help to massage tension out of their face. I can make them feel more confident. And when I look at these people, I see my friends, I see my aunts, I see my mom, and to be able to help them sit something else down so that way they can show up as their best version or work through whatever is stopping them. I know that's what I'm here for. You can't serve everybody. So I want to serve the people that really support me and have supported me my entire life.
Yes. As we're recording right now, no one has heard the first episode. So by the time they hear your episode, they're going to be able to see how we align in our process. And that's what a question was asked on the first episode when I did 20 questions. And it was like, what do you look like in a friend? And I think I said something along the lines of reciprocation. But alignment is a lot of why my friends are my friends, because we have a lot in common. That's not like in your face in common, but as you're telling your story, you're literally telling my story with different pieces to the puzzle.
For sure.
It's cool.
Alignment. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
We have been aligned for quite some time. And in just the core friend group, I feel like whatever came through the wind during the pandemic, it kind of pushed all of us forward at the same time and said, whatever you're doing right now isn't enough. All of you are going to have to support each other through a transition to becoming the next level of who you're supposed to be, the evolution of it all. And still to this day, I would say that our alignment is what keeps us together. Do you agree?
I definitely agree. I think we were recording this, life hadn't gotten crazy yet.
As it is.
But in 2021, there was so much transition. There was so much loss for all of us and collectively. And we came through it stronger together. And I think that's due to that alignment. I remember us having a group hug in a kitchen, and it was just exactly what I feel like I needed, but the rest of us, all of us needed collectively. Just to know that you have friends that have got your back through your best and through your worst, and that aren't judging you. That we all go through stuff and we're willing to stand in the gap. I think that's something that's so important, is that God created us all, not for us to be alone on this earth, but for us to be in community and to know that you have people that are standing beside you, locked arms. So when you aren't strong, when you need help, that they're willing to stand in that gap for you to help get you from whatever point you're at there to whatever point you need to be. And so, yeah.
We literally switched too. So like 1 week is your turn to be strong. The next week is my turn to be strong.
Yes.
The next week we need somebody else to be strong. And we literally rally around each other and hold each other up, because at the end of the day, it's somebody's turn all the time.
Yeah.
And that's life in general. Just referring back to that, I felt like it was a personal attack on me, or when I was derailed, I felt like it was a personal attack on me. When you have a close friend group where you're experiencing life together, you swiftly realize that life is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not stopping. And it's not just you whose life is happening to. It's just your turn. It's always someone's turn.
Yeah.
And for me, being the self-reflective person that I am, and as where as I attempt to be on a daily basis, I understand that more than anything.
Yeah.
That I'm going through bad times right now, but it's just my turn. And it allows me to like release my shoulders and not stress about what I'm going through, because I already got to be sad or mad.
Yeah.
Why would I also stress about why me?
Yeah.
I'm not adding that extra block to it. I accept the things that are happening way quicker than most people.
Yeah.
Because accept it. It is what it is. Now let's move forward. Sure that we show people the alignment of what personal development looks like.
Yeah.
And how creating that fulfillment looks like. We came from two different backgrounds. We do two totally different things, but for some reason, there is an alignment that is undeniable between what we're doing, because we're both essentially healers.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. So I want people to be able to hear stories like ours, yours specifically today, and understand that a lot of this is normal. And I don't like the word normal, because there's no such thing as normal.
Normal is very
But
subjective.
the process is very similar for most people, despite what field they're in. Despite if it's music, despite if it's cooking, despite if it's art of all forms.
Yeah.
You go through the same process, and that's kind of what made me want to create Access Granted, because after working with so many different people with so many different backgrounds and so many different challenges, the same tools and resources work for them all.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to streamline shit.
Absolutely.
I just sort of streamline.
So ridiculous.
We're just trying to get there. We're trying to get there faster than you would when you were by yourself doing it alone. For the next 5 years, what is coming for Nakia first, and then Art of Aesthetics? Because everything about you over here, girl, we thought it's us first, and then it's them.
This is true. For Nakia, it's really stepping into my power, speaking my truth, learning myself, loving myself unconditionally. It's really about my self-care. It's really about peeling back those layers of so many years of like people pleasing and
self-doubt
and all those things, and really like stepping into who I am naturally, regardless if that fits into any box or into any circle or any other shape or form that people put on that. But it's really just being my authentic self and learning who that is, loving who that is, trusting who that is. And in that, I found that that's my most authentic form. Like, I'm super creative in that, when I'm in my power, when I'm trusting myself, when I'm taking care of myself first and loving myself. And what that looks like is I'm able to curate beautiful experiences for other people through healing people, healing their confidence, healing their skin, healing their self-care rituals, healing them through self-care rituals, healing through yoga and meditation. I don't really know where that goes. I know that it's something that the angels around me have kind of like guided me through. But I know that if I found healing in it, that I can share that with somebody else. And I like to talk about Auntie Maya, and once you learn, you teach. And that's very organic for me. I love to teach. I love to explain. I love to talk. And to be able to help people heal, to help people grow, to help people trust themselves, to love themselves. And I feel like the deeper that I go into that, the better my capability is to help other people through that. And that collectively raises the consciousness of all the people involved. And collectively, we grow. We vibrate higher. We are more aware. We're love, and that transcends. So for Art of Aesthetics, that looks like finally making those skincare products.
Yes, that's going to happen.
Being a skincare ritualist and being able to provide people, mainly women, Black women, women of color, with self-care experiences and rituals and retreats and things that allow us to really just pour into ourselves, because those things feel so good. So that's the next 5 years. I don't know exactly what everything looks like. I've only seen little bits and pieces.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because as we work through our personal development and self-discovery journey, which I have mentioned in the first episode, is ongoing. It doesn't end. You just evolve. You vibrate higher. And until you God, it's always the next level. I feel like in that process,
until we
gain more perspective.
Sure.
And we actually expand our vision, because we're becoming whole as we go through our journey. And every time you add a little bit more to yourself, you add a little bit more to your vision.
Yeah.
So it's okay not to know
seasoning
what every step is going to look like. Yeah, we want you to plan. Yeah, we want you to be productive. Yeah, we want you to have a goal. But you have to be able to also surrender to life.
For sure.
And the flow of what life is.
Yeah.
Because if you start resisting in order to meet what you wrote down on that paper, you'll miss a lot of your blessings.
About that. All right, Ty, you get in there with it. A word.
It was a word.
Listen, I said in episode 1, a lot of things have changed, but some things have stayed the same. And I really enjoy hearing the parts of our journey that have stayed the same. And you were crying when you heard that. Why were you crying?
Why are you all in my face?
Because that's my business. You literally is my business right now.
I was trying to hold it.
But it came out. It was rolling.
Grow up, Brittany.
Never. I would never grow up. Let's be clear about that.
It just reminds me of what my purpose is. And so since then, more of the vision has been like revealed to me, which requires me to step into a lane of newness, to learn new skills and to move forward. And there's definitely some resistance and procrastination there. But the vision and the plan has been the vision and the plan for a really long time.
Very long time.
The way and the direction in which like that comes to fruition, I've learned over time. And I this was a trial and error thing. I knew in my soul that there's these one-on-one interactions, but I feel called to be one to many. And so what that looked like over the last few years was, teaching people about corrective skincare, coaching and mentoring, which has been incredibly gratifying. The general manager inside of me, I learned so much from being a GM for multi-million-dollar brands that I've been able to teach entrepreneurs and estheticians how to take those same practices that help me to grow other people's businesses and teach them how to grow theirs. And I've got tons of success stories, teaching them the skills that I learned, teaching them the way in which I grew my business, to be able to hit the numbers that I wanted to hit in what I would consider a short amount of time. Like my first year out, I jumped out the gate and hit that 6 figures. Mind you, I was chasing a 6-figure salary when I went into working for a brand that wasn't in alignment with me.
Right.
And then I jumped into being an entrepreneur and took those strategies and made my brand into a 6-figure brand. But the retreats, the healing, the self-care, all of that is still very true and still resonates to this day.
And it's been very impactful.
Yeah, very impactful.
We have definitely gotten to a place where we've taken our passion and our purpose and made an impact with it. And, at Access Granted, this is where passion meets impact. Period. So the execution of it all has happened.
Yeah.
And we still have so much more to go. Like, we're in the very beginning of this process. And we have so much more to still do. So I'm just grateful for us to have this moment and be able to reflect on who we were then.
Yeah.
And have that moment of like, wow, I'm still doing what I'm supposed to be doing, because you have so many challenges that come up throughout time, and it kind of helps. It helps that process of you staying the same, if that makes sense. Like, you ever seen that meme that said, worrying is like worshiping the problem?
Yeah.
Sometimes we worry a little bit too much about if we're doing the right thing, or if this is going to get me where I'm needing to go. And I feel like this reflection of the last 4 years, or 4 years ago to now, is reminding you that you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. No matter what challenges come, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it's going to all work out.
These are the facts. I love that.
What, you was about to say something?
I was
gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, I was just going to say that as I was listening to that, like what I thought I was supposed to be doing, it's still very much attached to where I'm going in a transition point, but the mission still remains the same.
Exactly.
And so
That's
reason
what we talk
why
about,
the
that
tears,
destination.
the reason why I like got a little emotional is because in that moment I thought it meant one way. However, the core of what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm being shown or being led to do it in a different way, that I'm able to serve more people and be able to have more impact and be a resource to more people. And it's just that confirmation that like, it's time to do that work.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us for episode 2 of the off season. We'll be back next week for episode 3. Can't wait to see you. Yay. Bye. Hey regulators, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And oh no, don't forget to hit that notification bell. If you don't hit the notification bell, how will you know that we upload? Any information that you need, it's in the description box. My information is in the description box. My guest information is in the description box. And I can't wait to see you the next time. Bye.